sun, I'll be the bride and black that's making you run. I feel alright and we'll feel alright, 'cause we'll work it out. Yeah, we'll work it out. I'll be doing this if you ever doubt, till the love runs out, till the love runs out. I'll be your ghost, your game, your stadium. I'll be your 50,000 clapping like one. I feel alright and I feel alright, 'cause I worked it out. Yeah, I worked it out. I'll be doing this if you ever doubt, till the love runs out, till the love runs out. I've got my mind made up and I can't let go. I'm killing every second till it saves my soul. I'll be running till the love runs out, till the love runs out. And we'll start a fire and we'll shut it down, till the love runs out, till the love runs out.
All right, hello, I'm Jerry McKee, and welcome to Prime Time. It is Monday and it's 7 o'clock. And if you notice behind me, right, that's not my regular studio. It's some strange things. It's the Honky Tonk Chicks, and we'll be talking to Bailey Purvis. She is a great entertainer, and she has captivated audiences across the stage, screen, music venues nationwide, and she has a vibrant career spanning Broadway, television, live music. She is just all over the place, and she got great, exceptional talent, charisma, and she's just a seasoned performer. Bailey leads bands across the country, blending her passion for music and performances and unforgettable live shows. Her ability to connect with audience is just outstanding, and her performances has made a lot of uh, great people get up and dance. And even if they don't want to dance, they get up and dance with this right here. She's really sought out to be actually a front woman there and singing. But beyond the stage, Bailey is a talented producer and creator. Challenge her vision into innovation, projects that push the boundaries of entertainment. And I found out that today. She is the creative force behind the scenes as a producer, creator of Honky Tonk Chicks and her production company. And I tell you what, she's got some great things going on. If you ever want to see the Honky Tonk Chicks, I want to say Tixie, great. Wash my mouth out with soap. But she has a theatrical background and Broadway shows, so she brings a great quality of showmanship. And you're going to hear more about the Honky Tonk Chicks and Bailey Purvis. And for that, let's bring her on and get my old mug off of here. There she is.
Hello.
Hey,
What an
Bailey, how you doing?
introduction.
I tell you just you. I've listened to your music, went back over, and next thing I look down there, it says my feet's moving, and
Yeah,
and
it's true.
now a question I have to ask you: when you was growing up little, and you're still little, but according to my age, but what when you was little, did you have family members were there into music, or what inspired you as a small child saying, "I want to do this"?
Well, my mom is very creative. She was a dancer and a dance teacher. So that's kind of where I started, was in the dance studio. But if you would ask either of them, it started before I could even talk. I mean, I if there was a stage, if there was a coffee table, a fireplace, I was on it, putting on a show. Whether that was singing, dancing, or anything, I had the bug from the time I was little. But yeah, my mom's super creative, but neither of them are like singers or musicians, which is really kind of interesting. But they encouraged the path every step of the way.
Now, when you just started singing, was it a surprise to them? Says, "Wow, you can sing." I've seen
Well, they
videos,
had put
where
me. Yeah, for sure. They had put me in piano lessons when I was very small. So, like, I started doing like little keyboard stuff when I was probably like 2. And so I think the ear for singing wasn't necessarily a surprise because, they had been exposing me to music from very early on. Um, but I think the level that I was so serious about it from such a
Uh-huh.
young age, I think was certainly a surprise to them. There was like no stopping me at all.
Now, some people or some artists, they usually uh, like get some background, like they're singing in church or they used to sing in church, and so did you pick up even more of that when, or did you have a voice coach growing up little?
Yeah, so kind of like my first, I guess, like official bout with the stage was doing beauty pageants. Was born in Louisiana, so that's like a pretty common thing for little girls down south. But I did beauty pageants, and I would do a pageant where you had to perform a talent, and I would sing, and that's really where I caught the bug. And so my parents put me in voice lessons from there. And then I was still in dance lessons. And then I started auditioning for musicals. And I kind of became obsessed with musical theater and Broadway. And so that's kind of how the journey began. But yeah, I think my first pageant was when I was probably like 5.
And now, the first time that you got on the stage in a big audience like that, how did it make you feel? Was you nervous or?
I mean, of course you're nervous. I still am nervous, but it's a feeling that is hard to describe. Like I feel absolutely at home. I feel like my best self, and I think even as a child like that, um I felt like this is what I'm meant to do. This is how I'm meant to like connect with people. And I just, I couldn't get to the next stage fast enough when I was younger. It was like there was certainly no pushing me out there though. I couldn't wait to go.
Well, so you got that bug, right? That entertainment bug, and
Yes.
that's great. Now, growing up, I know you listened to some of the music in the '90s, and who was which star was the most inspiration to you uh, to continue on?
Like in country music.
Any genre?
Any so I would say as a young child, like my dad and my grandpa in particular were big into country. And so like the people I most remember listening to when I was young were I loved Leanne Rimes. I loved Reba McEntire. I loved the Dixie Chicks. Uh yeah, those I would say as far as and of course like Dolly Parton. I mean, me and my grandpa used to watch. He had all kinds of like Grand Ole Opry old VHS tapes that he had recorded, and we would sit and watch Grand Ole Opry all the time. So he was always like, you can love the current people, but Dolly, she started it all, and Loretta Lynn and Patsy Cline. So I kind of yeah, all of those powerful women of country were definitely like the soundtrack to my childhood for sure.
Well, I know that I was blessed enough to interview Loretta Lynn on her bus, and uh, and
Wow.
and and I tell everybody when I say you tell it all the time. I said I don't care. She kissed me right in the mouth, and
Oh,
yes, it made my day. As she was getting off and the bus and the interview was over, and they kind of gave her a little hug like that, and she put her face up, I said, well, a little kiss on the cheek, like that. That's not how we do it around here. You got to kiss me right in the mouth. I loved it. I loved it.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And her granddaughter is on the circuit now. And
Yeah, I had heard about that.
I'm hoping like she told me to send her some emails with some dates there to get on there also.
Oh, that would be
But
amazing. Yeah.
yes, I know what I'm looking forward to that too. But it's amazing with y'all too, because when I first saw your video, and people, you can look underneath, see this little ticker go by, so you'll be able to go anywhere on here to listen uh, to the music. You can listen to the beat of it, and believe me, you will get up and start moving. I just that's why I just fell in love with it because
Right,
you go to places and you listen to music, but there's some type of energy there. And
right.
now, in your that energy is that coming from something that I know you went to Berkeley, theatrical.
Yes.
Is some of that creativity is coming from that, or is it just something that just inbred in you?
Well, what I think is really unique about Honky Tonk Chicks is that although, yes, it is a tribute show, it's certainly not your typical tribute band or like what you would expect from a tribute experience. And I think that that comes from our from my and as well as the other girls, our backgrounds on Broadway in musical theater. Because when you think about a Broadway show, you think about the lights and the sets and the costumes and the storytelling and the showmanship of it all. And that's really what sets Honky Tonk Chicks apart from anything else. And I think that's where that energy, comes from, is that we all have backgrounds in Broadway musicals, and so we're not only singing this music, but we're dancing. We are you know following our little storyline and making sure that the audience feels very connected to the three of us as people, much like you would see in a musical. And I think that's where that entertainment value and that energy comes from.
Where's the outfits come from? Y'all have some beautiful. My wife loves what's called bling bling, and
Yes.
I mean sparkly stuff. And
Mhm.
now, is there a store you can look at, or is this something that you said, "Well, I want to add some to it"?
My mom and I make all the costumes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I like to say like I'm the brains and she's the execution part of it. But yeah, I'll come up with an idea. I'm always looking at stuff very inspired by Dolly's costumes and different things like that. And I'll kind of come up with an idea and I'll be like, all right, mom, how can we make this happen?
Well,
So
Loretta,
a lot of hard work, but it's fun. It's something fun that she and I get to do together, which is cool.
well, that is good. That's it keeps your mom intrigued with this, and I bet that some of your creations, she's probably saying, "It's going to take me forever if I can make this." You-
Yes.
See,
Yes.
well, Loretta Lynn had a young man that's 24 years old that made all her dresses for her, and I thought,
Yes.
man, at 24 years old, that's pretty cool. But I
Yes.
love
I
it.
think that element is in my opinion, that element is just it's so important to what we do to kind of like create this very heightened theatrical experience for the audience. That is, the costumes and all of that I take very seriously.
Well, it's the way, like I said, the costume was just, I mean, it sticks out and it looks so professional, to where when someone sees you come on stage, that's what they see. They
Right.
see you ladies on stage. They don't see the drum over here. They don't see this one over here. They don't over here. They're watching that. The ladies saying,
Right.
look, they're critiquing your outfits.
They love it. Everyone is always, after our shows, has so many things to say about the costumes and our sparkly cowboy hats. They want to know where they can get a sparkly cowboy hat like that.
Now, when you were performing, what come up? How did you create? I think you think and it was in January 2023 that
Hmm.
you started your entertainment company.
So, yeah, this is a really kind of interesting story. So, like I had said, my background is in musical theater and Broadway shows. I lived in New York City doing Broadway for almost 10 years. And so when COVID happened, I came home to Louisiana for a bit, and I was kind of just trying to figure out my next steps and what I was going to do. And, you know, as we were all trying to do at that time, I just needed a job. At some point, I just needed a job. So I took a job as a singer on a cruise ship, and I was doing a big Broadway musical on that cruise ship. And kind of long story short, that experience, I ended up making a connection with an agency that worked with guest entertainers on cruise ships. So it's kind of like if you've ever been on a ship before, it'll be like,
Mhm.
oh, tonight in the theater, we have Broadway singer, blah, 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 that's going to do a cabaret for you, or, lots of different kinds of entertainment. So those entertainers are independent contractors, and they make their own productions and kind of come on just for that one particular cruise or something like that. And so I started doing that, which was a solo version of Honky Tonk Chicks, basically country, kind of similar thing, but just me. And then I kind of got this idea of from working on the cruise ships. I kind of got the idea for Honky Tonk Chicks and it being the three girls and it being 90s country and all of the country music that everybody loves. And I was like, we could dance, we could do it, three-part harmony, we could make this whole thing. So I actually made Honky Tonk Chicks solely with the intention of kind of selling it to the cruise lines like that, because I
Uh-huh.
kind of I understood that world. I understood what type of entertainment they were looking for, and I kind of created it. I launched the promo video, and funnily enough, we've never booked a cruise ship, not yet, but it took off as far as like touring, performing arts centers, festivals. Like as soon as word started getting out about it, people were like, wait, I've never seen something like this before, but like this is awesome. Like we need to see this. We need to make this happen. So it's kind of been, yeah, 2.5 years now of
Uh-huh.
this kind of constant learning curve. I came from Broadway musicals. Had no experience in really producing or even like touring live, playing with a band, things like that. Like I really had no experience with that. And starting the show just kind of forced me to figure it out. And yeah, we're really excited about what the potential of it is. We're kind of starting to consider what would that look like if we could have our own music, if we could write our own music. Um, and so we're just kind of going with it, just kind of rolling with it and seeing where it goes. But there's so much potential as to what we could do and what could happen.
Well, I know it's nothing out there like it, and I think you described it as Coyote Ugly and meets Destiny Child.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly.
so, people, if you hadn't seen Coyote Ugly, you need to go see it. You need to pull it
You
up
do.
somewhere.
You do. Because that was a
And
movie that I was very inspired by as a kid. I loved that. And I was always like, wait, there should be like a Coyote Ugly the musical. Um,
Yes.
and that was kind of my kind of jumping off point for what Honky Tonk Chicks could be, you know?
Now, like you said, it's three-part harmony. You're harmonizing together like that. You got high energy, and this is a 90-minute show. I would, let's see, especially AJ, I'm like now, 10 minutes, I'm gone. You know, I'll give me a
It
chair quick.
Right? It's a big show, and that's another thing about the show that um, kind of separates it from maybe your traditional band or like a tribute band. You know, a lot of times if people were to book a tribute band, or
Mhm.
even like at a wedding, if you think about like a wedding band or something like that, you know, they're playing a 4 hour set and they're kind of like the background to something, maybe a party that's going on or whatever. And that's something I always have to explain to people is like 90 minutes with what you're going to see, 90 minutes is about all we got. Okay. Because we're doing full out choreography. You know, the show is intended for, of course, the audience to get up and dance. We do line dancing. We teach the audience like a bunch of country line dances. So, of course, we encourage that, but it's intended for the audience to kind of sit back and enjoy it and participate, you know, if and when they want to.
Yeah, well, I know when I used to DJ some that they said, "Well, play a line dance." Well, I'd play four straight in a row, and they'd be dropping about that second one like that. And but where do y'all get that energy at? I mean, for that length of time, it amazes me. And I know you use feature a lot of Dolly Parton music, some even Elvis, even the current
Yeah.
stuff today.
Yep.
Uh, and of course, in the 90s is your music, Shania Twain,
Mm-hmm.
Reba, and Garth Brooks,
Yes.
and you know, just to me, I admire you for your brain thought of bringing this together.
Mm.
Uh, and did you ever get seasick on the ship?
Honestly, yes. I always have those little Dramamine sticker things, those little sticker things for the
Yeah.
back of your ear. But they're, for the most part, I've been on like pretty large cruise ships, so it's not too bad. And we're just kind of like going to Mexico and back. So nothing too crazy. But for sure.
I've been on a cruise ship and it was
You get it. Yeah.
well,
It's
you're
an
right,
adjustment.
but I won't go on a cruise ship if it's less than 100,000 ton, and plus last one I went on, wife said she never again because the ship kind of tilted, water went
Mm.
all out of the pool, glass broke, and all this right here, so that ended our cruise right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens. It happens for sure.
Now, how long was you out on the cruise at one time? I mean, was it just a couple weeks or?
So yeah, so now in my experience, you know, whether it's Honky Tonk Chicks or my solo, now like I only have to go for like a week max. But back, you know, my first cruise ship that I ever did was very early on, kind of in my Broadway career. And I was on that one for like 6 months, but I was like 23 at the time and I thought that was great. You know, I was just happy to be performing and working and traveling. So it wasn't so bad. Maybe now I would not want to do that for 6 months.
I don't blame you. Now, how did you say, okay, I'm going to bring on some ladies, and we're going to be some female performers, and you know, and what kind of I mean, not getting a band together. You know, you got a guy over here singing, you got over here right here. What made you think I'm going to pull these women together and we're going to do this? What was you thinking? You know?
Well, it actually started from that I knew without a doubt that I wanted performers who were of a certain level. I wanted,
Hmm.
of course, like friends that I loved, but I wanted performers of a certain quality that were either actively performing on Broadway or had performed on Broadway and really had the triple threat skill set that I was looking for. Um, and so with that comes, and with, getting anything started, it takes some time. Um, it kind of started with availability, is where the roster element of it came from. So I had kind of like an original two friends of mine that did the promo video with me, and that was who I was thinking was going to be in the group. But, we didn't book our first gig probably for 6 months. So whenever we booked our first gig, already one of the girls had moved to London to work on a project, and the other girl had was doing something on Broadway. And so I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? And so I kind of started reaching out to people. And still to this day, I mean, that's why I think right now between New Orleans, because I do have some girls who are local to New Orleans, and
Hmm.
then I've got girls that are local to New York City. And everybody besides me um, is still actively, pursuing other aspects of their entertainment careers. So, we have a girl um, that's like in Wicked on Broadway right now. So she's no longer, she's not able to perform right now. Um, my assistant and kind of second in command, Becca, she's leaving to go do a tour of Waitress the musical next month. So we're going to lose her for a little bit. Um, but at the same time, it has turned into, in my opinion, my favorite thing about Honky Tonk Chicks and my favorite thing about being a producer is that I kind of get to be um, the person that I never had in New York and in the industry, and
Hmm.
I just want to provide as many opportunities as I can for these girls to, make a living doing what they love to do and what they're good at. So it definitely is a new element of kind of motivating me to, how can I get as much work for them as I can?
Right.
Uh, and so, and I think it's kind of cool, that um, you might see three different girls, but you're never going to get a lesser product. You're never going to get a lesser show. Everybody is absolutely amazing. And we're always, fighting for the gigs of being like, okay, well, who's going to be on this part and who knows this part, and kind of putting the pieces of the puzzle together. But they are just all absolutely amazing. And it is humbling that they love being a part of this. It's just the most magical part about it that that they love being a honky tonk chick as well.
So when a person's interested in being a honky tonk chick, do they talk to you and you ask them to send? I guess you send a video of them
Yeah,
singing.
so mhm. Yeah, so it will start with a video, and then I'll go up to New York City and do like full auditions. We just hired um, this girl. Her name's Megan. She's the beautiful redhead on our website. Um, and Megan was chosen from about 30 girls who auditioned to be a part of it. So that's kind of a cool thing to have that many people interested
Wow.
and that many people show up is really cool.
Well, I know kind of in the way why you said all girls to come up this because if looking back, you're seeing that there's a lack of a lot of female performers, not single female, but performers like the Four Seasons and the boy bands and the tributes, and
Yeah.
there's really none at all out there. And so you really captured a unique little glitch here. And with you,
Sure.
way you're doing it, you're not per se burning people out in 1 minute, but yet give them opportunity to say, okay, here's this opportunity. Let's
Mhm.
do this. And to me, that's great. And we're going to show some pictures here. And
Sure.
let me do a little clicker here, and then cut my ticker parade off here a minute. And I'm gonna pull up some pictures, and we'll be down below it there, so we can talk, and you can tell me a little bit about what's
Sure.
going on in these each pictures.
Sure.
All right.
Yes,
Now,
this is a great one. Yeah.
now, who?
Um,
I know you're in the center, so we got.
yeah. Yes. So in these photos, so the girl on you can't really tell that she's wearing red, but she's wearing red on the other side. She's the other blonde. Her name is Becca. She's kind of like been my right hand man from the beginning. She is our show captain. So uh, if you're gonna book Honky Tonk Chicks, as of now, that could expand in the future, but as of now, as the girl in the center is either going to be me or it will be Becca. So if we're double booked on something one night, or if there's something that I maybe can't go to, she's the one that steps in for me. And the fabulous girl in the gold, her name is Ellie, and this part is normally played by my best friend in real life. Her name is Kate. Her and Ellie kind of look similar too. I'm sure we'll come across a picture of Kate, but Kate lives here in Louisiana with me. She's my best friend. So I would say it's usually me, Becca, and Kate for the most part.
Okay.
Yes, this one too. This was from, I can't even remember where this was. This was a fabulous performance. It was kind of like a small, um, I think it was like a country club somewhere in Florida, but I had no idea that they had a photographer there, this amazing photographer, which my husband is a photographer, so it's hard to impress me with photos, okay? um we had this fabulous photographer there, and he ended up sharing the photos with me, which is like what we mostly use for our main promo stuff.
Well, that's
Was
great.
from this
Yeah,
performance. Yeah, that's a good
uh,
one with Becca in the front there. There she is. Yeah.
getting a little closer up to them, and now where was this at?
I think this was maybe like in like Delray Beach, if I
Oh, okay.
remember correctly. We play at a lot of country clubs and kind of like golf communities and
Hmm.
things like that. We're like on a big circuit around Florida for that, a big circuit around Arizona for that, and also up in New Jersey. So we'll kind of do these big tours where we bounce around to different country clubs in an area. We'll do like 20 shows and
Oh,
a
wow.
month or so. Yeah. So this is a great one of our line dancing. So like I said earlier, we teach everybody a couple line dances throughout the show, and we never have any trouble getting them up. They can't wait to get up and do the line dance.
Well, I know, music moves the soul, and then you're sitting there and you got music like this, and you just people having fun, and the energy is so up there, like number 10. You got to get up, and move. I mean, everybody else is dancing. If you can't dance,
Oh
you can
yeah.
move.
Yes. Yes, we definitely, with our choreography, we have an amazing choreographer who has been in a bunch of Broadway shows. She's a good friend of mine. And that is something that everybody always comments on is our choreography and how, tight and in sync our choreography is. We kind of like all move as one, um, which is also something that, if you're, I think is so cool about it. If you're expecting to, hear a country tribute band and you see this, it's like, wait, I wasn't expecting this at all.
Well, most of your tribute bands, they're not really up there dancing. They're just playing the music and trying to get you up there. When you're up there on stage and doing the choreography of it, that is something that gets people, hey, yeah, I could try that right there. And
Yes, yes, yes.
wow, I don't know who this person is,
Oh,
Bailey,
who could that be?
with the bling bling that her mother's made.
Yep, lots of bling.
Uh, that's going to showcase what your mom could do. Your mother probably get a lot of people wanting to her. Hey, can she make this?
Oh yeah, and she won't do it. She won't do it for anybody but me.
Uh,
To be fair, it is very time consuming. It is very
oh,
time consuming. So,
I, I oh yeah, I couldn't even imagine that. I mean, I wouldn't even try to hem my cuff.
right, right. Yeah, I mean, all of those rhyme, we stick every single, I'm usually the rhinestoner, so I glue all of the sparkles on.
Oh,
Um, but they are every single one glued on individually by me.
that's some time consuming.
Yes. Oh, awesome. Okay, so the girl with the kind of reddish brown hair, she is one of our local Louisiana girls, and she is actually an NFL cheerleader. She's a cheerleader for the Saints.
Wow.
So that's like a cool fact about her. And then the other one is actually my sister.
I was gonna say that because
Yes.
I seen the name. I says, kinfolk. I bet you.
Yes, yes. My sister, she's much younger than me, and she is a little hard to come by, but I'm so, lucky to have her because she's definitely gotten me out of many a pickle where I kind of didn't have anyone, or, someone booked something at the last minute and I needed an emergency coverage. She's definitely um, you know, saved me
That, oh,
several times.
well, that is great to have a family member who can do this and look as beautiful as you do and there. So, yeah, that is great. But when I seen the name, I says, I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm gonna wait till she
Familiar.
tells me.
Yeah. Yes, and so the redhead here is, I was just talking about Megan. She's was our most recent new hire from a big round of auditions that we had in New York earlier this summer. Um, she's actually, so when we first got her on, she learned the alto part, which is the lower part in the three. And then she kind of decided after that that she thinks maybe the higher harmony would suit her better. So after learning the whole show as an alto, now she's in the process of learning the whole show as the soprano. Um, so that's challenging for her. I get it. I know all three parts just in case there's an emergency, and that is definitely tricky to switch your brain from show to show singing a different harmony part.
I, that has to be difficult.
Yeah, it's a challenge. And then the other blonde, her name's Peyton. She is a New York local as well. And we like to call Peyton our personality hire. She is the funniest person on earth, and it doesn't matter. We have like, our show has a script. It's not exactly scripted, but there's kind of like a start and a finish of, maybe we're talking about a certain artist, maybe giving some history about a certain artist or one of our experiences with that artist. And we always laugh is because Peyton is going to say what Peyton's going to say, and she always has the audience cracking up, always. She's a loose cannon. We don't know what she's going to do or say.
Well, that makes it interesting, doesn't it?
For sure, for sure. Okay, so we have Victoria in the sweater here. She is also local to New Orleans. She is awesome. She performs along with Kate, who is I talked about earlier. They actually perform at the National World War II Museum. I don't know if you've ever been there before in New Orleans, but super cool museum. And they perform in a like an Andrews Sisters kind of trio at the World War
Hmm.
II Museum. So they're awesome professionals. And so the other photo, I always love this one because this was like the first photo that we ever took ever for Honky Tonk
Wow.
Chicks. So so like I had mentioned earlier, my first two. So I went to college with both of these amazing ladies, and they were kind of the first ones that kind of just we did a few songs so that we could film a promo video. And then one of them, like I said, one of them moved to London for a project, and the other one booked a Broadway tour. So she was kind of unavailable and kind of has been unavailable ever since. But they, and it, I love also, I love looking at these costumes because we've certainly stepped it up, if you couldn't tell. This was kind of our like we still do have costumes like this. Like we have a gig coming up on the 4th of July at Busch Gardens, and they actually requested these kind of looks specifically, and it's going to be super hot outside, so our other ones would probably be a little uncomfortable. But I always love this photo because it's kind of the original vision that I had. And it kind of just reminds me like of how far it's come, which is really special every time I look at that photo.
Now, are you gonna when you go to Busch Gardens, or since it's Fourth of July, will your costumes be like, patriotic?
No, they're kind of like inspired by this. So we kind of me and my mom are actually working on them right now to give a little bit of a more cohesive uh stepped up look, but they had asked for these costumes specifically when they booked it.
Oh,
I think they just kind of wanted a more casual feel.
right, right. To make people
Yeah.
like you don't have to dress up.
Yeah, yeah, and I think they knew it was gonna be pretty warm, so I think they wanted us to be as comfortable as possible for 90
Oh,
minutes.
oh, I can imagine 90 minutes up there dancing. I wouldn't want to have a big old coat on at all.
Yeah. Yeah, but I love that one.
Yeah. Now you played in a in the theater and on Broadway national tours, Bring It On and Mamma Mia. Now, did you play in the Mamma Mia
Oh,
plays that?
yeah, so I was actually I don't know if you know the musical at all, but,
Oh yes,
I was actually
I've seen it. Yes.
so I actually played Tanya on the national tour, which she was 20 years older than me. I was much too young to be playing that role, but that was kind of a fun experience. So the tour that was happening at the time, this was probably 10 years ago, but the tour that was happening at the time, the actress that was playing Tanya kind of left abruptly, and they needed someone immediately. And they just, I think that they at the time had a very young cast. So the woman who was playing Donna and Rosie, I think were in their like early to mid 30s, and the actress playing Sophie was like 17, so she was very
Ah,
young. So they kind of had kind of that leg of the tour, they had kind of altered it where it was maybe women, like in their mid 30s, and the teenagers were teenagers. So I always laugh because my parents say that it was like I was in drag. They they put like, they taught me how to do all this makeup to make me look like I had had all this work done, like all this plastic surgery. It was hilarious. Looking back at those, but everyone believed it. From the stage, you would not have known that I was not to be in some and I had to learn the show in like 3 days and then perform all of that original material in like 3 days and just like jump on stage. But I had done so much theater before, so
oh, so
it was awesome.
yeah, it's like a piece of cake to you. I've heard actors when they Tyler Perry for one of them when he dresses like Medea and things that how long it took to put all that together, and it was just extremely painful.
Oh
No,
gosh, when you would see me like not on stage, I had all these like brown lines all over my face because they were like, it was just like it was like I was in drag. It was hilarious. But the audience believed it, so I guess I did it pretty well.
wait, with performers, you're traveling and sometimes you're leaving at night, stuff like that. And do you ever have people asking you, when do you ever work?
100%, 100%, and it's like actually all the time. I'm never not working, especially with Honky Tonk Chicks. It's like because everything that you see, like you were asking me earlier about the logo, like everything from the logo to the website to the costumes to the booking to the email, everything is me, all of it. And so it's a lot of work, but I feel so lucky to be kind of after, 10 years, longer than that, because my performing career kind of started before, you know, graduating from college. But, uh, you know, being in musical theater is a lot of rejection and a lot of auditioning and working in a restaurant while you're auditioning and a lot of waiting for someone to say yes and to give you an opportunity to create and do what you do. And I feel so lucky to have something now that is mine and
Right.
that I'm in control of what happens. It has been truly, I mean, life changing. I mean, this brought me. So when I started Honky Tonk Chicks, I was back living in New York, and about 3 months in, I had to get investors. I had to take out loans. I had to do all kind of stuff to get, like anyone, getting a business going. And I remember calling my parents and I was like, I think like I have to come home because I've put so much into this. I don't think I can afford to live in New York anymore. Just until if I'm going to give this my all, I need to give this my all. And so I kind of moved back to Louisiana, not expecting to stay forever. I was going to kind of give it a year and see how what happened with Honky Tonk Chicks, how it grew. And then I ended up meeting my now husband that I just got married a month ago.
Yes, yes, I
Um,
remember that.
yes, I ended up, meeting my now husband very quickly after that. And without it just all, I'm sure so many people, whatever walk of life you are, whatever you do in life, it's like when you're when you're in the right place at the right time, all the pieces fall exactly how they're meant to. And
Mhm.
Honky Tonk Chicks to me feels like what I was always meant to do, is because I was always meant to I'm happier. Of course, I loved living in New York. I love musical theater. I love all of that, but I'm happier than I've ever been. And I have my own family now. I'm, a 40-minute drive
Great.
from my parents and my nieces and nephews. And, um, that's because of Honky Tonk Chicks. And I'm so
Well,
grateful to be, yeah.
well, anyone that's ever had a business like that, a business that you own, even with this podcast, and I do a lot of other things for the community and the county and things, and I'm always thinking about things, even going to sleep. Yeah, I wake up. Did I need to do this right here, and because you're
Yeah.
always planning, aren't you?
Always,
It,
24/7. Yeah, and
it's
I was like just the other day talking with my family and my husband of like when we went on our honeymoon for, 2.5 weeks, I started saying how, and I'm sure you can relate to this, it's like when you feel like you take your foot off the gas, like for a second, things are not things are not happening anymore, you know? And so then I'll be like, wait, I need to work. And he's like, no, you're on your honeymoon. You can stop for a second. But it's true. It's like as soon
and
as
I can see
you,
him. Yeah, I can see you on your honeymoon, him asleep like that. You're sneaking in another room, opening your laptop to. What you doing?
let
I'm
me
looking
send
something
this
for you.
email. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
But it's a good thing.
let's watch the video, the promo that you did.
Sure.
People, you're gonna love it, and let's flick on it.
Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Country, from the cowboy boots to the down home roots, she's country. From the song she plays to the prayer she prays, that's the way she was born and raised. She ain't afraid to say country, nothing but country. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. All right, I'm gonna need a little help from all my southern ladies out there tonight. Cause I'm a redneck woman, I ain't no high class fraud. I'm just a product of my race, and I say, hey y'all and hee-haw. And I keep my Christmas lights on my front porch all year long. And I know all the words to every Charlie Daniels song. He's a good time cowboy, casting over, leaning up against the record machine. He looks like a cool drink of water, but he can't be cold in misery. We want to thank y'all so much for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. We had so much fun being up here with each other in front of you. It really feels like home. Sweet home Alabama, yeah, where the skies are so blue. Oh, sweet home Alabama, yeah, Lord, I'm coming home to you.
Wow, that was great. Now, was y'all singing the national
Thank
anthem, or was
you.
you a halftime show at the football game?
So that one was the national anthem.
Uh,
Um, it was awesome. That was like by far the craziest thing, the craziest opportunity that we have had. So it was like after the Saints early in the season had like a winning streak at the beginning, which is not common for the Saints. They had like a winning streak, and we just so happened to get scheduled at that game against the Eagles, which, I mean, normally you can get a ticket to a Saints game for like $20. There were no tickets. available. Like that stadium was packed. A lot of our family couldn't even come because like there was just no tickets available. And there was almost 100,000 people in
Woo.
that stadium. It was the wildest thing I have ever done. Like, absolutely, you cannot imagine what performing to that is like. It
Oh,
was crazy.
when I was looking at that, I said, oh, that had to be awesome. I mean, you got that all
It was
100,000 some
awesome.
people screaming, yelling, oh, and oh, yeah, yeah, that's got to be a rush.
It was crazy. And yeah, we ended up, so from that, obviously Mardi Gras is really big
Mhm.
here. We ended up getting to open for the Brothers Osborne
Oh,
at one of the huge Mardi Gras balls. And that opportunity came from that Saints game. And so we got to do like a whole set for a ton of people. We got to like have our own float in the parade and like opening for a band like that was really crazy too. Getting to perform on their, we got to perform like on kind of their set and their tech that they had for their performance. So we were, that was really cool
wow.
too.
Now, watching these videos, I see all high performance. Do y'all sing any slow ones in there, or do y'all go the whole 90 minutes wide open?
Oh, we do lots of ballads. So we do, of course, you know, I Will Always Love
Uh,
You. We do Fancy. We do Jesus Take the Wheel. We do Strawberry Wine. Definitely keep it
Okay.
keep it
Because I
kind
was
of
wondering,
going.
how in the world would y'all do 90 minutes of that? How, but that's great. Well, Bailey, it's the getting top of
Yeah.
the hour. I know you're a busy, busy woman, and I really appreciate you coming on the show here to give us inspirations for ones that that's coming up as artists, that's coming up as singers, and to let them know that it's hard work and dedication, and that's something that you got to have in
Yeah.
in this business, and don't get discouraged. Just pick yourself up and just keep going,
Yeah.
and believe in yourself. And I think you're showing it
Hmm.
with your with your girls and with your ladies there and the Honky Tonk Chicks. You're showing a different side of that. Hey, women can get together and have a great time. On it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and thank you so much. I mean, this is so awesome that you give opportunities to, you know, more up and coming people. This really, you know, if one person today found out about Honky Tonk Chicks that didn't know about it before, just that alone like means the world to me. So I'm so
Well,
grateful
I'm
to you.
grateful for all the artists out there that tried to come on. I've met a couple from American Idol that went to Hollywood and stuff, and and I know it's such a hard business to do, and I love showcasing, finding out everyone's story, your story, and because I found out some wonderful things that this is not just the same group going everywhere. This is another other ones like that. Where did she find these beautiful women to do this
Right.
talent?
Right? That is one comment is everyone's always like, how do you find such gorgeous girls? Because they are. They're all tens out of
Ex-
tens, every single
Exactly.
one.
Well, so you, Bailey Purvis, and congratulations on your marriage, and may God bless you and your family, and continue on this great success.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you
You're
for
welcome,
having me.
ladies and gentlemen. You've seen a great show here, and always follow the ticker there. And next week we're going to have the historical society on here, and you're going to say, "Oh gosh, it's going to come down now." No, no, it's going to be some great things in there that you're going to know about, a little history and a little pictures, and find out what's in your neighborhood. I'm Jerry McKee, and we'll see you next Monday.